Sticks out of the bottom of the frame a little bit.
Right.
Sometimes it hangs up on a ram. Yeah, we could give it a try. Because I got those wheels. You don't want to go nuts on them.
Right.
Put a little Loctite on them. Suck them down nice and snug and you're fine. But fucking, but there wasn't very many people up to Mags. Casper, there was nobody. Bob Lou, he knew about them from Sportsters, you know, but there was nobody with big twins running them. And I had that 63 FLH and I dropped a mag in it. I thought they looked cool, and it was, and everybody, as all the drag racers use them because you get twice as much spark and all this shit, right? Grab that Mallory. I don't have no circuit breakers left, but I used to have, I give Kish, and I polished it up, made it look like new. Stock automatic advance for 65 to 69. Then I had one that was a little rough, and I had a couple single points. I've sold piles of that shit. You've seen all that shit I sold. But fuck it, which was nice because I used to do it with you. I could set, here's a mag, here's a fucking this, right. Here's the single point, here's the automatic advance, whatever. But fucking Kavanaugh bought this to put in that bike when he was going to put it together. So I got it brand new in the box. But fucking, this for sale. Mallory. I run it for about 3 years. It's just fine. I kept it nice and clean. Inside's cleaner than the outside. I don't know if you can see it or not. I've got the pigtail for it to go to your coil. It wires up super simple, nothing to it. Clean everywhere. But anyway, I was running this for a year or so. Or I was running a mag. I was running a mag in it. And this was brand new sitting in the box. Okay? And fucking, because I had no idea about any of that shit. You know, there's a lot of people can tell you, you know, how many millivolts, how many volts, this, that, how it really, and what it puts out at the plug and blah, blah, blah. I don't know any of that shit. But old Roger Slump, he was a smart son of a bitch, especially on the old stuff. But anyway, I had the mag in it. And I was sitting there and I thought, I wonder if that's any better. And I didn't know how to do it. And I figured it out and dropped it in there and got it wired up. Because I got the instructions for it in the box somewhere. God only knows where, but I got it. But anyway, I run that, went out and rode it, and it's like, I don't know, as far as starting and everything, started easier, because mags, you got to kick them real hard. Because you drop them in place and tighten them down, and they don't have no retard to them. They're fully advanced all the time. So they'll kick you back, you got to watch it. They make them now. The old ones just tied down just like this with that little funny thing. You tighten it and melt it down in there. They make them now with their own, and they're great big. I put one on Tim's bike. And they got a big aluminum base, real gross looking. But it's got a spring in there. And when you kick it, the shaft doesn't move till a certain point, and that spring winds up. And right when it's supposed to fucking, just before it's supposed to move and open, that spring cuts loose like a catapult, or like a slingshot, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to make them easier to start. And I like to never figure that fucking thing out, how to get it going, but I finally did. That modern one. These old basic just drop in and tighten down. And what you can do is, you can leave that where it's really hard, because when when those old motors spin over, as it spins, it wants to advance it all the way. Not retard it because it's a right angle drive right here, but it wants to spin it towards the advance. So if you leave that loose and fire up a hog, any of them, where they'll move, you sit there and hang on to it like velvet, and it'll move and advance all the way. But anyway, you can take those mags if you want to and kind of figure in the hole where you put the line, you can play with that. Then you can actually loosen that clamp down, and you need to use a self-locking nut with some Loctite. But where you can reach down and it's hard, kind of hard to do, and you can move it back to retard it. Me, I always just timed the damn things, tied them down, kicked like hell. I knew it was going to kick me back, so you watched it and all that shit. I'm kind of a caveman motherfucker. Excuse me, I'm a nose picker now. But anyway, my whole life, from the time I was like 18, oh, those mags, the only way to go, you get way more fire, you get way more fire. Well, when I had the red fishtail bike, I dropped this in. I don't know if it started easier, I can't remember. It seemed like it did. But and this is all transistorized. So this retards itself in there a little bit to make it easier to start. And the second it starts, and it's all electronical.
Right.
There's a little tiny sending unit in there. Just one little sending unit. All you got to do is buy the extra one, keep it in your pocket or in your saddlebag or whatever. If this gives out, you just take those screws. They're kind of a little pain in the ass. But take those screws out, and there's no gasket on that lid. And you'd think it would get wet when you wash the shit, but it doesn't. But a lot of times condensation in the morning will gather up inside a mag or a circuit breaker. People call them distributors, but they're not. They don't distribute the spark.
Right.
It opens both cylinders fire. And I can't remember if this is dual or single fire. I can't remember now. But anyway, there's pros and cons. Some people, dual fire is the only way to go. Some people, single fire is the only way to go. Me, I don't know if it makes sense. A lot of this stuff everybody rants and raves about. Like I could have changed this one. Oh man, it fucking starts easier, man. It's way stronger, more responsive. You know, a lot of it's placebo. You got to watch it with yourself, no matter who you are, because it'd be placebo. Because and everybody's got something to sell, okay? And they're going to tell you there's more than one of these on the market. And everybody's going to tell you they're the best, or as good as Mallory, or better than Mallory, and blah blah blah, and all that shit. I like sticking with brand name stuff. And even those people, they got stuff to sell, so their stuff's always the best and does the best. And they got the facts to prove it. It's like the politics thing. You listen to one side and you're convinced, oh yeah, that fucking Donald Trump's the only way to go. Then you listen to the other side, oh, that fucking Biden, that's the only way to go. Everybody's got their facts, they've been proven, they're experts. You don't know who to believe. So the best thing to do is don't let the placebo effect start happening with you. You just think it's doing that. Sit there and really think about it. Okay, now what is it? Gas mileage? Do I get better gas mileage? Does it start better? Is it more responsive? Is it stronger? Is it blah blah blah? But anyway, so I stick that in there. And at the time, I had a stock automatic advance 65 to 69, beautiful shape. I had a single point circuit breaker, just like in the 64, the old manual one. I had one of those. I had this, and I had a fucking mag. I had it all, right? So that one day, I put this in, and then I rode it around for about an hour, went back to the shop, dropped the mag in, kickstart and stuff. Like seeing how I was doing there, and he said, when Sage starts riding that 48, if he gives a tour or whatever, he says, I've never met anybody that's on a Harley like you. You know how I say, you copy me and you're smart. I stand on that frame, I jump way up in there, but you're always taking a risk. That thing kick through or kick you back. And once you get kicked over the handlebars, about break your fucking ankle, the gears slip and it kicks through and you hyperextend your knee. Once this and that, you'll start knowing when that's going to do that. Usually you
can
feel it coming on
yeah.
Once you've done it enough and it hurts bad enough. But anyway, so I put the automatic vance in and rode it. I put the automatic circuit breaker in it. It's actually automatic advance circuit breaker. And then I put the old single point manual one in it, tied it down for it to stay in place. And I can't remember. There was a definite difference. I think it was with this one. The automatic advance one, the stock automatic advance 65 and up, started good. Run pretty good. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. Just the things, they're vibrating and they're loud and this and that. And then when you start them, sometimes you see me, that old 71, I started 20 times in a row, first kick. Get some of them, they got personalities like people. Some of them with all the gear lash and the carburation and the timing and all that crap. Some of them just, it kind of all comes together on them. Then you got to get to know them really well. You used to have to know how to start a motorcycle. You had to be mechanically inclined. You had to know if it was a little flooded, if it was a little too retarded. Quarter throttle, half throttle. If it's got a pumper carburetor, how many times can you pump it before you do? Nowadays, it's all just like push the button and go.
Yeah.
Which is really nice and really convenient, don't get me wrong. It's like that E-start until I got that old 84 Honda Goldwing. Fuck a bunch of sissy starts, right? And I remember I went down there, I'd ride my red one down there to Olson's Sharp. But he goes, man, you need to put electric starter. Fuck them electric starters. Fuck a bunch of sissy starters. I'm going to sissy starters, right? But fucking, like Wild Bill used to, or Ace, that one guy come up and says, I go to sports, and he goes, yeah. He says, my sister's got one too. And he's really down on Sportsters. But anyway, why, I'll never know. He's macho, Mr. John Wayne, motherfucker. But fucking, I used to be too, once I got Big Twin, fucking half a Harley, parts chasers, girls' bikes, all that. I was like that for a long time too. It's like hating all the new Harleys, If it says Harley on it, it's a motherfucking Harley. I don't care if it's that first one in the garage they built, whichever one they wrote Harley Davidson on the side of the fucking tank. If it says Harley on it, it's a fucking Harley, whether you like it or not. Whether it's a fucking 1928 JD, and I had one of those, fucking whole story there. But anyway, so I got thinking, Roger Slump, these people that build top fuel dragsters, Carroll Shelby, he's got a shop over there. He's got a motor room. Looks like Orange County, okay? And it's just for oiling systems, oil pans and systems and pumps and stuff. He's got all this specialized equipment in there. Carroll Shelby used to come up and work with him and pick his brain on that shit. And then Carroll Shelby would go back and use what he was doing and claim he figured it out. He used to go, Carroll Shelby used to take him out to dinner. I know Shelby's an icon and everybody this and that. This is just a little shithole Laramie, Wyoming. You'd be surprised, like Tatro. And Tatro was in Hudson, Wyoming, a town of 300 people. Just because it's in the middle of nowhere, don't mean nothing. But fucking, so I thought, I'm going to go talk to him. Now he could have been, I hate talking bad about the dead, but it was a well-known fact, like Wild Bill's a big asshole. Biggest heart in the world, die for you if he loved you. Do anything for you. But he'd be giving you hell, picky. He wouldn't even let me sweep his floor. I borrowed I borrowed a portable car wash thing, pressure washer from him. We went over there. He says, can I borrow that? AJ needs to use it. And he told me, he says, before I take this thing back, I wipe it and chamois it all down, show blow. I wax it. You better do it, you're going to get jacked. And he didn't give a fuck. He's a bad motherfucker. He wasn't nobody going to knock the fuck out of that big barrel-chested son of a bitch. He's going to do it his way, or he's going to run you down the road or kick your ass or both. And there's nothing you can do about it, because that's the way it works. And I was real desperate to use this thing. He says, I'm going to tell you how he's horrible. You think you're picky. At one time, I used to keep that 12 gauge up there on the fucking wall. Somebody didn't put my tool back just correctly. Oh, that was was in their face and they wanted to get ignorant, I'd grab that 12 gauge and shove it down their fucking throat. I was a crazy son of a bitch. Off in left field, I didn't need to be like that. The more insecure you are, you don't know, the more I was like that. The more I started figuring things out and finally figured out I didn't know shit, right? I mellowed out some. I'm still can be a picky ass, but like nothing like I was. But anyway, so I went over there and I was dreading that. Well, anyway, I was borrowing that power washer. So I borrowed it and I used it. I put it up on blocks. I mean, first of all, it was immaculate when I took it, put it back in the truck. I used it. It might got a little water on it. I sat there and I wiped it all down, shammied it all down. I got the wax out. I waxed it. Don't leave no white in any cracks or anything. Everything. He didn't miss shit. Perfectionist nutcase, motherfucker. Got all ready to go. Had Ace help me pick it up. Put it in the truck. We drove back. I drove back over there. Knocked on the door. He come through. I said, I brought your power washer back. He said, okay. He's looking at me right. I knew what he was going to do. He walked out there. Sat there and looked at it. He goes, Ace didn't do that. Because Ace is Mr. Pig Boy a lot. He can be the pickiest fucker in the world, which most people don't even realize. I told him one time, everything's in a big fucking pile. He goes, I worry about one pile. The pile in the bank. If the pile in the bank goes down, I lose everything. Fuck it. But he's one of these guys that everything can be everywhere. And he actually
knows where
about 70% knows where it's at. Like that big pile out there with my rear end for my van. Over there on the other side down underneath there. He knows exactly where it's at. So he put it there, not thinking. Or before I hit him up for one. So he told me, yeah, there's one over there and ain't nothing wrong with it. It can sit there 100 years. We pull it out, it'll be fine. Because the tubes are bent on that one and the snakes. But anyway, and so we unload it. And we roll it in the shop. And I always carry that red bag, right? We roll it in the shop. We get in the shop. I lifted one corner up. Wiped the outside of the wheels down. Lift the other corner. He's sitting there watching me. He ain't saying nothing. And he's still walking around looking at it. I said, man, I appreciate it. I was sucking up to him hard, right? I was scared of this fucker. Spooked of him. I got another story about dropping a piston down on one of the cylinders I took over to show him. I got talking about getting jacked up, and he was right, too. But anyway, I went in there, and I had this out. Like this. And I fucking went in there and I told him, you're pretty knowledgeable. I told him what I had. He didn't really know shit about Harleys, but he knows what all magnets is and all that shit just for a Harley. Looks like that, except one set of points and weights are in the bottom. Same thing as a car. But anyway, I told him, I don't know which one to run, which one's going to be the best for power, starting, gas mileage, whatever. I says, I got this one, and I think I might have took them all over there to him. The automatic vance, the single point circuit breaker, had them all laying there. And he goes like this. I hand it to him, he goes, junk. It's Mallory. Ain't nothing but junk. I hate fucking Mallory. Make everything too complicated and shit don't work right. They're junk. And I knew Mallory made stuff for cars and hot rods too. And fucking, and everybody always talked good about it, like Ellenbrock and
Excel.
Yeah, all the different fucking good performance stuff. It's all they all compete, so they got to keep up as good as the other guy. But anyway, I said, really? He goes, yeah. He says, hang on a minute. We got a screwdriver and took these screws out and pulled the top off. Looked at it like I didn't say anything. Didn't know fucking with it. He goes, well, he says, I can't stand Mallory shit, but this is the best piece of fucking Mallory shit I've ever seen in my life. It's flawless. It's way good. And if you take the top off this, he explained this to me. It was out of my pay grade, over my head. He had the top off, and you look down in there, and you see that little sending and all that. And there's a couple of screws, and it's adjustable. It's really strange. It's adjustable. He says, see that? That's for fine-tuning it. You drop it in there and you pull the plug on your fucking on your motor. You put the line wherever it says in the middle to the back to forward, whatever. I can't remember now. But fucking, and then you make sure you're so many degrees before top dead center. Drop it down in there where it's just on points where it's just coming up on the cam, just touching it. Tie it down, boom, you're there. But he goes, and same thing with this, I believe. But it had a little screw in there, in this little, I don't know what you call it. It wasn't nothing fancy with springs or anything to fly apart or nothing, but I think what it did was move that little sending unit a little bit like this, or something. It seemed like it had a screw on each side or something. And fucking, he goes, see that? And he started explaining to me, that's how you fine tune this. He says, this here will not do any of that shit, especially that fucking mag. I said, well, I've been running a mag since I was like 18, man. You get a lot more fire with him, all that. He goes, you're full of shit. Everybody's full of shit about that. He goes, you've been to the drag races, right? You see them start the top few dragsters or the big stuff with the big starter motor things, and they got to spin on it and go pop, pop, pop. It takes a lot to get it going, right? And he goes, and then when they get going, they're like, like that, real fucking, ain't no low island, them motherfuckers, right? And just be it a bike or a, and even, I guess maybe pro stock or whatever, not so much top fuel, maybe alcohol, whatever. But anyway, he goes, I said, yeah. And he opens up this book, and there's a picture of this Hemi. It's like 10, 12,000 horsepower. Got 4 mags on it. You can run 8 cylinders, okay? He goes, see that? He says, that's the only way a mag ever gives you any more electricity, is when you run them at the strip. And they're all fucking tricked out. I said, well, what are you talking about? Would you hear?
Nothing, I'm just checking.
Still working?
Yeah.
But anyway, he goes, do you know why? He says, what do you set the points on that automatic advance? And the manual's going to tell you a little different, but you set any of the points, vertical points set up some fucking 36 to 69, okay? You set them on circuit breakers, not mags, circuit breakers. Set them at 18 to 22 and you're safe. They'll run. And if you want to readjust them, or if the book tells you a little tighter or looser, do whatever. They got personality, so when you tune, you got to tune to the personality. The book, they give you your specs, and usually that's good enough all the way around. But sometimes some of them are a little different. They like to run a little tighter, a little looser. The more wider you run them, the hotter the spark, because it takes longer to jump across. So it's actually hotter for some reason, they say. But anyway, he goes, what do you set the mag points at? He asked me about the other ones, because he didn't actually know. He goes, yeah, that sounds about right. He says, what do you set that mag at? It was something like I say, it's been a long time since I've fucking fucked with any of this shit, but I want to say 12 to 14. Way fucking tighter.
Yeah.
He says, the tighter you set those, the less spark you're going to have. You ain't getting no more. You might be getting less spark out of a mag. Hell, I don't know that much about the fucking shit, but he goes, but they're tighter, so you're going to get less spark. A lot less spark. He says, this one here, that's your ultimate one. For starting, spark, gas mileage, performance, and everything. He says, that's the only piece of Mallory equipment I've ever seen that I cared for. It's just Roger. He might have been full of shit on that. Hell, I don't know nothing about it.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. It's Panhead's first birthday.
He's
Today.
1 year old today,
So
January.
this is his dinner, his special birthday dinner, with a cute little birthday corn muffin on top. And we're gonna sing him happy birthday. But we gotta get JoJo. Here, JoJo. Ready?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Panzer. Happy birthday to you. And many, many more.
There you go, puppy. Oh, you forgot to tell me.
There you go. Happy birthday. Him gets his birthday dinner.
Yay!
Him 1 year old today, January 31st.
A whole year ago. He's a whole year old.
Thank you. Thank you, Harley. Thank you, Mom.